And just like in the story example, if you need to italicize something or bold it, we've got the character style set up for you. Oh, I deleted my character style. So how would I get my styles back? There's two different ways you can do it. You can go up here to where we set the workspace, and you can choose to reset it, which will put it back to the default for that workspace. So I'll get everything back over here. Or there's one other way. So say I need my character styles. If you go to Window, this shows you all the menus and panels that are available to you. So if I go down to my type, I can click on character styles, and now it comes back. So there's two ways you can get it. So let's say this needed to be italic. So I see in here I have description, italic, and there. Now I've got it. And it's the same idea for listings. You see we've got in the paragraph styles we have, you know, listing title highlighted, listing address highlighted. See, it's cutting it off here just because the box is so small, but you can make this bigger so you can see it. You know, make it useful to you. We've got phone number. I don't know why these styles aren't coming in. Website. Okay, so we've got all our styles. And it's the same idea of if you needed to duplicate a style. Say, in this instance, we need another highlighted. So you click on the first line of your listing, push the home key, and just hold down shift and the arrow until you get the whole listing. Copy it, paste. There you go. So now you have it. This one, the line didn't show in just because it's the first one and it was set up a little differently. But if you ever have something like that, say this happens but you know you need a rule in here, just tell the artist and we can fix it, because unfortunately you guys can't do that from here. And if you ever lose an icon or something, like say you're up here and you're typing and accidentally you get rid of this guy or something, you can either let us know or you can just copy and paste him from another place. But you'll just want to make sure you get the hidden character too when you copy it, because you see here we have this character, which is a set spacing character, and you can always look on your sheet if there's a character you don't know what it is. But so you want to grab both of these, and then I can control minus to zoom out a little, and I'll go back down here and I'll paste. Okay, so that's pretty much the basics as far as applying styles or applying character styles to modify text and moving around. Does anyone have any questions?
In regards to adding, some artists don't want us to add, they'd rather just have us tell them.
Yeah.
Because it shifts everything around, but I mean, it looked pretty easy. I've done it before, but I know I've wrecked the page, I can tell.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no way you can do it without it not messing up the alignment just because of the way our listings are set up.
What if we didn't tell you, we just checked it back in? You'll get back in there and you'll definitely see it.
Right, I mean, you could always send a courtesy email, I added a listing, please realign or something. That'd probably be the best way. Like, personally, I would like it if you put a listing in, but I could understand another artist not liking that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that would be a decision someone else would have to make. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would have happened. It hasn't liked when I've added a listing.
Right.
Yeah.
I've always worked with them where they said don't add them, just let us do it.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe they're just hesitant because, you know,
yeah, because it wrecks the page.
they might be hesitant just in case you're not copying the whole thing.
And if it's a big book, I mean, if it's a big book and you're potentially like, you know, having to shift page to page to page to page, if it can fit in one page or it's adjustment to two, then maybe they consider.
Yeah, because sometimes if you had a listing, you could be changing 15 pages after that.
Exactly.
You know?
So that's why I think the artist wants to.
Yeah, and I think they also might be a little hesitant because say you try to copy this, but you don't copy that little character at the end,
Right.
and now you go in and paste it, and you have this, and it's all mucked up. So, but now that you guys have the knowledge, I would feel very confident with you adding new listings or deleting listings.
I mean, I've added because
Put that discussion on the end.
if you go into the gallery view, you can see and you can kind of play around and fix it too.
Right. Oh, and there was something I just did that I should tell you guys. Now, say you did mess it up. there's undo, just like in Word. Control Z and it goes back. Or if you forget that shortcut, under Edit menu, it's the first thing, undo, and also redo. So say I really did mean to do that, you can redo it. So Control Z is your friend. Can always undo. But yeah, if you find that this view is confusing, you can look in the galley view, and since the galley view shows column widths, you could put your descriptions in here and make sure they're 2 lines or 3 lines, however long they need to be. It's only in the story view that it doesn't give you a real representation of how wide a column is. Becky?
Do you feel like it's appropriate for us to use track changes when we're making edits?
Well, we don't ever see track changes, so that...
Right, so you can't see it in InDesign?
I think it might show up as notes, but we haven't really... I've been reading about that. I would like to look into it more,
Okay.
but like we've never used them before, like at least as artists, so I would have to look into that more. Because I know you guys use that in Word a lot, right? The track, well, or the comments on the sides.
It's useful when there's a lot of different editors probably going into one document, just so we can see who did what in case there's a mistake, or in case there's, you know, somebody made a fact-checking change and then realized, oh shoot, that's not the right change, you know, to go back in.
I think that
track. See what you deleted.
Yeah, I think that track changes are pretty much hidden in InDesign. I'd have to look into it a little more, but so it doesn't affect us. One thing though that I would say kind of gets lost is if you use notes, because using notes in InDesign is kind of a pain, and we don't see them wide like you guys do with the big markers on each end. We just see a little symbol that's really easy for us to miss. So like, I know a lot of times they'll write in apply this character style or apply that character style, but now that you have the power, you can just do it yourself.
Can you show me, I know I've done it and it's been a while, the squeeze feature, because some of our listings we can't edit.
Yeah.
And we can squeeze it a little bit for you.
What Lisa's talking about is adjusting the tracking, which would be making a manual change, which I don't really recommend that, because hopefully your artist will have made you some squeeze styles that make it tighter, and if they haven't, ask them. But if in a tight pinch you need to squeeze something, if you go to the character palette right here, the one with the AV and the line, if you hold your mouse over it for a second, a tooltip will appear to tell you what it is, but this is tracking. I think it's not showing on here because the recording software is messing with it, but what you do is you just start clicking the minus, and as you can see, it's getting tighter together. But I mean, I would recommend being careful with this, because we have other tricks for squishing things, like we might make the text a little smaller or squish it in other ways. So if you're having to really squeeze something, you should ask the artist to make a squeeze style for you, and then that way, you know, you can just go and pick description tight or something, description squeeze. Because when you make these manual changes, like now that I've changed that and made it to -20, if I go look at my paragraph style, I see that there's a plus now, which means that the text has been modified from the style, and we try to avoid that. So, but that's how you do it in a pinch.